Namaste, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Anchor to Light meditation. So today we'll do a meditation to start your week. Technically, the week starts on Sunday, all right? But we'll make the most of what we have. So before we start, let's ask for a blessing, shall we? To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, to all the saints of all traditions, to all the holy archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, we humbly ask for your blessings, your light, your love, guidance, help, healing, protection. Again, to my beloved teacher, Master Chokok Sri Mahagujumaing, thank you for your guidance for me. In full faith, so be it. All right, so I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And the meditation we're going to do is connected to nothingness. And a big part of that is understanding. When you say nothingness, what is nothingness? Well, you have to realize everything in the universe is energy, right? Different frequencies. And so things have a tendency to be always in constant motion. And so I was meditating on it, and this morning I saw this quote that says, never make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. You know, there are many people who claim that they wrote it, they said it. In other words, it's unknown. Okay? I did a thorough search to make sure we always give proper credit. And some people say, this guy TD Jake said it, and some people say this guy said it. And in other words, it's in the universe. Okay? Now, the important thing is what is the context of that quote. Never make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. How many times has it happened that we get all excited and we make decisions? Especially, somebody stirred us up, got us a little upset, and what happened? You blurt out certain words that you say, oh yeah, okay, let's end this relationship. So you made a permanent decision based on feelings that's fluctuating. And then later on you go, oh, I can't believe I did that. I screwed up again. All of us have done similar things. And sometimes, okay, you go shopping. And it's supposed to be a window shopping. Just looking around. Oh, yeah. That's why you go into a store. A salesperson asks you, oh, can I help you? You go, oh, no, I'm just looking. And guess what? You go, ooh, this is nice. I look good in this shirt. I look good in this car. Depending on the cost, right? And then how many times has it happened that we bought something we didn't need? Impulsive buying. So a lot of these can be categorized under feelings and desires. And just by looking, oh, I feel this, I feel that. If you didn't have it a few minutes ago, you just look at it, oh, this is exciting. Okay, you buy it. So in other words, you use hard-earned money to buy these things that, I just make an example. Let's say it's a car. You can exactly just say, hey, let me return it. So you're having these feelings and you go, okay, you're making a decision that will last a long time. The effects will be a long time based on what you're feeling in a blip in your emotional body, right? Now, the more devastating one, I don't mean to be negative, but it's just to kind of put it out there, usually happens when we get angry, we get upset, and we act very, very harshly and decisively. And this happens too in business. You look at the market, oh yeah, okay, the market's going up and down, I don't like it, okay, let's just close this department. So you're making a decision that's long-term, that's why it's called permanent. Of course, in the big grand scheme of things, it's not permanent, but within this time frame, you're making a permanent decision based on something you feel at that time. Now, let's break this down. It all goes back to what these decisions are made from. It's based, you're making those decisions based on the data you get, and here's the critical part, your response to it. So, how do you respond to it? Well, there's only three ways. With your thoughts, with your feelings, and your physical actions, right? And so it goes back to you, the soul, the spiritual self, using the body creating these feelings, creating these thoughts. Here's the problem. Each of these vehicles, if you will, have their own tendencies. The physical body either wants to move or not move. Wanting to move, this is what you call action. And not wanting to move, maybe the body wants rest. So, inaction. Feelings or emotions, just like the word says, the word motion is in it. There's no such thing as a calm emotion. An emotion is constantly moving. That's why I would say, there's no such thing as a calm emotion. That's an oxymoron. An emotion is always in motion. So when a person looks at the world through the emotions, they always want to experience highs and lows. There's always movement. Okay? Now, the mental faculty, which oftentimes people call the mind, but it's not really accurate. But let's just say for now, you call it the mind. The mind is constantly jumping around. It's not really jumping around. What it is, the mind has a tendency to always pick a certain focus and break it down into pieces and dive deeper and compare. That's the nature of your mental faculty. The mental faculty is constantly slicing, dicing, picking things apart, analyzing it, comparing. That's the nature of the mental faculty. So just imagine, just to make it easy, you have 3 horses. That's how the analogy we always use. The physical body is one horse that wants to do physical movement. Okay, the second horse is, let's say, your emotional body, which nature is always get excited, and then get depressed. There's always this up and down sensation. That's the tendency of that horse. Very temperamental. The third horse that you have is very mental. So they're always like contemplating, thinking, overthinking. Make sense? So each of them have their own tendencies. Most people forget that these are your horses or these are your vehicles. They have a tendency to identify themselves completely as the body, the emotions, and thoughts. Now, we mentioned about the emotions and its tendency of going up and down. The mental faculty has the tendency to pick a topic and constantly break it down and try to dive deeper, and then from there go to the next one. Now, the body has its own tendencies also. So depending on what your physical body is like, some bodies like to stuff themselves with certain foods. Sometimes the bodies just want to be a lazy ass and don't do anything. Certain bodies just want to keep moving, keep working, keep doing this. So each of them have their own tendencies. And when you make a decision, oftentimes people don't realize decisions are made from the data coming from these 3 different tools or instruments. It's just like when you're a charioteer, you're going like this. Okay, this horse wants to go this way. That horse wants to go that horse wants to go that way. So the decisions are made based on the data here. Now, oftentimes, these decisions are based on which one of these are stronger. In general, I'll use that term because, I don't want to be demeaning, but at the same time, want to be as precise as we can or accurate. The general public makes decisions emotionally and justify mentally. So if you are in sales, you know this already. When you're selling something to someone, either a person, a group of people, a corporation, to the public, if you want to get the fastest response and the biggest amount of response, you have to first establish some level of rapport or connection. The question is why? Because most people make decisions emotionally. That's why there's a saying, most people buy the salesperson before they buy the product. Now, if there's no salesperson, it's a website. Okay, watch this. It's a website. You go to a store, you don't talk to any salespeople, right? What usually happens? Most people, not all, maybe 70, 80%, You go by, well, I look at this website. Yeah, it feels good. If it's a men's store, you have to appeal to a men's. Yeah, makes me feel more macho. It makes me feel like I'm strong. So the images, the colors have to go in that direction to kind of get that part of you emotionally stirred up. If it's a woman's store, it has to appeal to what a woman wants. And of course, I don't want to comment on that because I don't have a slightest clue. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend on that one. You go to a store. Let's say there's no salespeople. What do most people do? They go in. It feels good. It feels good being in here. You might not say it in your head, but with that will determine how long you stay in the store. Because again, most people are not aware their emotions run their life. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but the effect of that is we can easily be manipulated emotionally. I say we, all of us include. Now, it's not really good or bad until it has a negative effect. But the most important thing to remember here, that's why I picked this quote today, is the ability to choose. It's always the same thing. When somebody's making you feel something, you go, wait, okay, I'm feeling this person makes me feel really good, but is this a right choice to make this my life partner? Okay, this is going to be controversial, but I'm just using a general statement here. I've met some people, and I know this particular person, she's intelligent, very successful woman. She's one of our students many, many years ago. She's very successful, very intelligent. In a corporation, she's relatively high. Not CEO, not VP, but relatively high in position. So I know this person does not make decisions like just a spur of the moment. She thinks things through, very systematic. And then in one of the events, I heard that she met someone on a bus, and it's one of those love at first sight type of deal. And she ended up marrying him. And if I remember correctly, he was the bus driver or he was a bus, I forgot already. And so it was like, oh, there, she's always happy and everything. Guess what? Less than, 6 months later, she made a permanent decision based on that feeling that they have at that time. Now, I know some of you go, yeah, but where's the romanticism of planning everything out? Hear me out. And there's another person I know of, another student. She traveled to a foreign country. Again, she's relatively emotional, but also she has a head on her shoulders. Very similar. She was in a store or in a whatever public place. Look at one guy. Their eyes met. My soulmate. Got married. Brought her into the country. Less than a year later, boom, explosion again. So, I'm not saying it's not good to feel, but you see, you have 3 vehicles, not just one. So emotionally, it feels good. Well, mentally, are you on the same wavelength? Physically, is it really, what's the word I'm looking for? Does it work for you to be in close proximity? In this case, they're of different nationality and different culture, right? The physical bodies need different things. So they only connected emotionally, and that caused the so-called connection and oneness, but the other vehicles were separate as from north to south. Explosion. Make sense? So it's very, very important that, number one, you get to observe. Again, we're going back to the same thing. You're probably so bored of me talking about it. You have to first realize you are the soul, and that soul is the one that first needs to observe. From that observation, gather that data, process it, and make decisions. I know you guys are saying, that's so boring, man. Where's the fun of that? You plan everything. No, you can still have fun. It's just you're constantly observing. Make sense? Now, that's the whole idea with mindfulness. People think, oh, mindfulness is just chilling, relaxing. At the deeper level, mindfulness is the soul observing and choosing to put its attention on, okay, I'm going to make a decision based on what I got on this emotionally, mentally, and physically. I want to focus on the food I'm eating. I'm going to focus on this teaching. Now, what happens when you focus on nothing? That's why I initially started nothingness. When you focus on nothing, you are actually in a state of realizing your true self. Because you're not grabbing onto anything, nothing. So at some point, you realize, how could I be focusing on nothing? Well, when you're not focusing on nothing, you're just kind of, to a certain extent, getting a glimpse of the essence of the universe, which is just pure energy. And when you get to that point, we'll do a simple experiment right this moment, okay? So you understand what I'm talking about here. Okay, close your eyes. Observe your body. How does your body sit? How does your body stand? If you're standing, if you're laying down, whatever, how does it feel? What are you sensing? Oh, I feel still a little strain here. Okay, I'll sit up a little better. The position of my head, the temperature of the room. In other words, you're sensing, you're observing what the body's going through. Okay, good. You're observing the body. Now I want you to observe your emotions. Just observe. Are you happy? Are you sad? Is something weighing on you? Are you getting excited? Are you kind of just chilling emotionally? It's like, who are you? Just observe. Now observe your thoughts. Are you thinking of what this guy talking about as you're listening to him? Are you thinking of simultaneously, oh, what's for lunch? What am I going to do tomorrow? What are my plans today? Just observe these thoughts like clouds going by. Now, just imagine the body dissolve into nothing. So there's nothing for you to focus on. The body's not there. Just try. Your thoughts disappear. It's like your emotions disappear. These just like clouds in the sky and just disappear. Then you're left with just an open canvas. Nothing's there. Just keep observing that emptiness of that space. Observe that nothingness that is there. Now just allow your attention and your consciousness to just gently drift into that space. Just allow your awareness to drift into that empty space. There's nothing there. So, it's just your attention. What is it? Well, it's just my consciousness, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Just allow your awareness just drift into that nothingness. Just let things happen. What people call letting go. Letting go means just let things happen. As long as your gentle awareness and intention is just go into an empty space. It's just like walking into an empty room with no objective, just being in the room. Maintain that awareness. If a thought, a feeling comes up, just observe it and just see it dissipate. And just gently drift deeper and deeper into that empty space. So much so that empty space and the one who's listening, there's no distinction. Your entire awareness is that empty space. And just simply allow whatever happens, happens. Now. If any sensations come up, any thoughts, any feelings come up, just observe. Just observe like watching a hologram, watching a cloud. And just allow it to just gently disappear and dissipate. And you're left with empty space again. It seems empty, but your awareness is filling it. And listen. Ani, Ain. Ani, Ain. Ani, Ain. Aini, Ain. Ani, Ain. Just listen to the voice. Ani, Ain. Ani, Ain. Ani, Ain. 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 Aini. Ain. Allow your awareness to drift deeper and deeper. Just let it drift wherever it wants to go. Ani, Ain. Ani, Ain. Ani, Ain. Let go. Just let things happen. Now. Gently, very slowly, ever so slowly, move your fingers, move your toes, ever so gently. Come back to your physical form. Take your time. When you're ready, open your eyes. How do you feel? What is the state of your body? Relax. What is the state of your emotions? You go, what emotions? What are the state of your thoughts, your thinking? Empty. What do you call that? Nothing. See, at that point, you get to be the observer. And who's the observer? The spiritual self, the soul. That's that. Simple. Now you know what these monks are meditating. Hey, what are you doing? I'm meditating on what? Nothing. So what are you meditating on? Nothing. So you're going back and forth this conversation. You go, nothing. You go, you have to be meditating on something. Nothing. Now, if you observe your thoughts and emotions and any sensation you have, it's like, for most of you, it's quiet. Now, watch. From here, you have the ability to see things clearly. What if you make a decision while you're in this state? Most likely that decision would be a good one because you're at that time, nothing is influencing you. So you observe. Okay, let's look at this purchase of this whatever. Do I really need it? Do I have the desire for it? Does it have any use? If I fast forward 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, what is the effect of that? See, you can observe things without being attached. Oh, a certain relationship. How's that relationship going? Oh, it's not doing so well. Okay, should I just end it? Oh, wait, let me observe. Okay, when this person is here, this is usually what happens. This was happened in the past. Let me observe. What are the possible outcomes if I made this decision, that decision, that decision? Very interesting. Get the idea? So, when you make permanent decisions on temporary feelings, most likely it's going to be a disaster because you're not able to see things clearly. When I say see things clearly, the first thing you have to figure out is who's watching, who's the one seeing, and is that person who's seeing biased? And most likely, if we don't do our spiritual practice or meditation, the emotions are made by the soul being controlled by the thoughts and emotions that is enshrouding it in the aura. That's why there's such a thing as regret. Make sense? So if you were to do your meditations on a regular basis, go back to who you are, your center, first observe, and be detached. Not detached. There's a difference. Detached means you already know this. You have this desire. You have the pros and cons. All that is figured out. It's already affecting you. But you detach to it temporarily to be able to watch it to see if it's still viable. Then you decide. Make a huge difference. That's that. Ridiculously simple. Now, why is it nothing? It's very simple. Because everything in the universe is energy. Once you get into contact with that realization that everything is energy, not physical, but just pure energy and light, you get to realize your true nature. Once you get to realize your true nature, suddenly the entire universe is your canvas. That's it. Very simple. In that short meditation, you might have heard me repeating certain words. It's Hebrew. Ani is I, or I am. Ain is nothing. So you put it together, I am nothing. I am is made of no thing, just pure energy. Or, you want to make it a little more exotic? I am nothingness. That's it. Very simple. Imagine every day you can make decisions starting from this center. What would your life be like? When somebody stirs you up, gets you all excited, somehow, while you're in that situation, you're able to back off, not physically, back off in your consciousness, pull back, observe. That's one reason they call it a retreat. You have spiritual retreats. You go to a certain place, you're retreating from all the mess, and from there, go back to your center, observe, and come back into it, make choices. Now, what you guys didn't realize, when we do this 6 times a week in our Anchor to Light meditation, you're doing a mini spiritual retreat. You're sitting and listening to this dude keep talking and yakking and guide you to some meditation. What did you do? You temporarily set aside everything else in your life for this 35, 45 minutes, whatever it is, to just observe, to learn, and implement. That's why most of you, by the time we're done, you go, wow. Things are quieter. I get to make better decisions. I get to see things clearly. Because it's a form of mini retreat. That's what we're doing. That's the lesson for today. I hope you learned something. Very, very simple. Recap. Step 1. First, know that everything is made of pure energy. Everything's energy. Number 2, that energy, that universal energy, is quote-unquote what you're made of. The I, the spiritual self. As you go back to who you are, your true nature, then you get to observe your body, your emotions, and thoughts simply as the tools you use to function in this earthly journey. So you control them, they don't control you. That is self-mastery. Let's give thanks. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Master Tsok Sui Mahaguji Meling, we thank you for the blessings, the light, the love. Thank you for the wisdom, the guidance, help, and protection. We thank you in full faith, and so it is. So you will notice the session was simple, short. I would highly recommend you go back and study it again and do the meditation. I think it might blow your mind. Now, if you want to know more about it, we dive deeper tonight, okay? Or after Anchor Light meditation tonight, which is 6 to 6:30, 6:45 at 7 California time, we're having the introductory workshop on the inner teachings or esoteric Buddhism. Same thing, you just have to go to mastergo.org. There's a place to sign up there, and we'll dive deeper into the teachings of the Buddha. And the thing that people don't realize, inner teachings and outer teachings are determined by how one harnesses energy. So if you talk to most Buddhists, when they meditate, they practice, they meditate in the words of the Buddha, the way they live their life. That's great. I mean, that makes people better. And the ones who dive deeper, it's interesting. When I was in Taiwan, I was talking to the students. I said, in pranic healing, in Arhatic yoga, our spiritual roots is Tibetan Buddhism or Tibet. You go, oh, in Chinese that's called mi, zhong. Mi is secret. Zhong is like the school. Just like in Christian tradition, right? You have Baptist, Pentecostal, Charismatic. In the Buddhist tradition, they have something similar. You have Theravada Buddhism, Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, which comes from Tibet. And they have different levels of teachings and different emphasis. Now, Tibetan Buddhism, part of that is Vajrayana Buddhism, is where they dive into energy. And this Vajrayana and Tibetan Buddhism was initiated by the great teacher Guru Padmasambhava, who is known to be a great saint, a great teacher, and a magician. In fact, I've heard some people say he's actually the father of quantum mechanics. Could you imagine? Like, how is that possible? Because he understood and taught about energy and nothingness. And nothingness permeates the universe. Well, if you study quantum mechanics, that's what they say. The entire universe is made of fields. And every time you put your attention on something, then it starts acting like a particle. And so if you can change the movement of the field and change where you put your attention to, things change. Isn't that what magic is? So anyway, I'll cover that a little more tonight, or well, at least in California, it's tonight. So just go to masterco.org. Again, it's going to be 7 p.m. California time. And I will be joined by our top instructor in pranic healing, Chandan Paramswara, to give you the inside flavor, the Indian flavor of Buddhism and how it is used in energy. A lot of people don't realize the Buddha had a physical body. That's from India. You go to most temples, they look Chinese, look, Burmese, look, But his body was Indian. Indian subcontinent, at least. That part of it in Nepal. So anyway, we'll see you tonight. First, Anchor the Light, 6 p.m. If you're not tired of me yet, at 7 p.m. we dive into the deeper teachings of Buddhism and how it can be applied to modern life. It's an introductory class. If you're interested, we're teaching the full class next month. And one last thing is tomorrow also is the start of Tony Robbins' challenge, Breakthrough Challenge. And last year they had 886,000 people with us when we did the meditation. Tony being Tony, he probably cranked it up a little more. So let's just say minimum 1 million. So imagine in this Breakthrough Challenge, you have 1 million people or more doing meditation twin hearts, blessing the earth. Now, to give you a visual, imagine this is the earth. This is from practically every country in the world. It's through Facebook, okay? Just imagine you have light coming in from every part of the world, just blessing the earth. Could you imagine what could happen? Just think of you projecting loving energy to one person, you already see improvement. You feel better, they feel better, there's already an upliftment. Is that right, English? Now imagine 1 million people doing this at the same time, blasting the earth with all this loving energy. I think it might be a way for us to change the situation that's happening here, from wars to pandemic to whatever else. So I hope you join it. Doesn't cost anything. If you go to the Breakthrough Challenge with Tony Robbins, you scroll it down, you'll see my picture going like this. It's just to kind of encourage you guys, inner peace, divine connection, our service to the world. Okay, namaste everyone. We will see you later tonight. Take good care and namaste. Have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. Okay, bye.